The Epiphone. I believe this is an S310 Strat type copy. It's got a dual pivot bridge there, 2-point bridge. Very Strat-like 3 single coils. Very metal person, Megadeth picture. Smiley face, Budweiser Select, Alien. I don't think those things are staying at this point in time. One more fret than a regular Strat. Some Strats have the other fret. It looks like it might really be probably mother of toilet seat, might be mother of pearl. It's pretty good mother of toilet seat if it is. That looks pretty good. It might be mother of pearl. This particular one, standard Chinese sealed tuners, all in good shape. Maple neck, plastic nut, separate piece of maple on the cap for the fingerboard, no rosewood skunk stripe. What we got here? Handcrafted in Korea. Epiphone. Not sure the serial number. I'm assuming this is probably late 80s. Let's see. Pretty clean. Once we de-sticker, the guy's a Guitar Center where I picked this up used for a fairly really good deal. Even ended up throwing in the tremolo. It's filthy with fingerprints. Sharp fret ends right now. Overall, I'm not seeing anything horrible on the frets. Nothing popping out badly. Sharp ends. Not a lot of fret wear. Almost no fret wear. This has had no adjustments yet. Little bit of a bow. Probably had no truss rod adjustment. I think it's going to be clean up really well. I'm going to do a little preliminary playing before we start to actually do cleanup and just do a quick cleanup of everything. And then we'll plug it in, see what it sounds like. Probably going to sound a lot like a Strat. I'll bet it sounds and plays a lot like a Strat. We'll see. Well, I've done some preliminary cleaning on this, and I've strung it up with the old strings still, and just brought it into tune. Haven't taken the alien off quite yet, and half of the Megadeth sticker is still not quite off of there. We're not going to damage it by forcing it off. I'm going to find a decent way. I did get the frets cleaned up substantially. Let's take a look here. Fret ends have been taken down. I rolled that edge a little bit. Nice smooth fret ends. Frets themselves still need to be polished. I removed the gunk from the fingerboard. I degunked. I did clean the strings. I did just with a rag and wiped them down. I have not changed them yet. I wanted to get an idea for what it would be like in setting up. It looks like my bass E tuner down here on this end, right there, might have a broken grommet right there. It's functional, it's tuning, but something came to my attention. If you tune this up to concert pitch, which I just did, the action is outrageously high. And the tremolo sitting way up, which is contrary to the action being so high. Also, the truss rod needs to get adjusted. If we take a look and press the string down at the body, and look here, we have some relief right there that can go away. So, should be able to take a lot of that out. But the other thing is that to hold that bridge down, I might want that to float a little bit, but not at all that much. Now the other possibility, and it is possible, I can't tell for sure, I don't have my micrometer, these feel like they're at least 9s, or at least 10s rather, instead of just 9s, and I'll bet 9s will fix some of this. Then I'll have to counter spring tension on the other side, open up the tremolo cavity. But the other thing is that with how far forward it is, and I can't really get a good picture of it right here, the holes do not line up. It's not engineered to be that far forward in there, and get your strings in there properly. So it should be sitting back, somewhere in that neighborhood. Maybe going a little sharp or a little flat. Get a picture of what it should look like here. You can see the holes lining up right there. As I turn it around, the tremolo's about 2 mil off the landing there. And anyway, we want to tighten those up to accommodate that while it's in tune to concert pitch, and then do that truss rod adjustment, and we'll take a look again. But it's cleaning up tremendously well so far. Really like the headstock. No frets of issue or warning, which is the big thing. The neck is got that little tiny bow in it, which is nothing for the truss rod adjustment, providing the truss rod still works. So far, so good. Return of the alien Epiphone S310. Okay, I've identified this other problem here that probably was one of the reasons there's no fretware. When this is tuned to concert pitch, our lovely 2-point tremolo is raised so high up that the action is just really unbearably high all the way around. Plus there's a bow in the neck that compounds the issue. But the first thing we're going to do is to address this discrepancy of tension on the back springs and the strings. So what's going on here is the strings at concert pitch are pulling too hard, so I need to apply more pressure or tighten the springs in the back. So where do we do that? The back here, I've already removed the axis cover, and we're going to tighten the screws right there and there. So I'm going to do that quickly and balance that out, flipping it back and forth, and then I'll take a look at how we did. I pulled those in at least a half an inch there in several different things. Still very high. I might need to add additional springs to this. Well, I thought we were almost there. One of the compounded problems of this is that those holes are slipping in this plywood body. So, we are going to fill them with toothpicks and wood glue. That should be enough wood for it to bite on the screw. Well, we have sunk our tremolo retainer back in on our holes that we've filled in with toothpicks and wood glue. I rearranged the tremolo springs to be diagonal off the outside edges of the actual bridge block to the inside of the retainer clip there. Give a little bit more tension. I do have the face of the tremolo now right up against the body, but I did take some string tension off, so I have to retune and play with that tension a little bit, but we should be on the right track. The problem with that to begin with is that those springs were slipping out the claw in the back, so. Is that a real CTS pot in an Epiphone S310? A funky 5-way switch that I've never seen before. Maybe Epiphone unique at the time in Korea. It's almost like a cross between a Switchcraft and a cheap import, although it looks a lot beefier than most of the imports, and it feels pretty good. It's got this fairly heavy-duty spring. It works well. Pushback wire on the tone cap. That might be a 500K pot for tone, which seems odd with all single coils. It'd usually be 250. And the CTS is 252, although the CTS is different than the other two, as you see. Bigger, and it does look like that's probably aftermarket wiring. I'm guessing those aren't factory wires. I mean, I guess that could be a factory solder. But it'd be odd to have different mismatched pots in there. And these pickups don't appear to have the magnet on the bottom there. So they're probably magnetized pull pieces, which are quite rusty. This is no surprise. There's no shielding at all inside of this thing. So I don't have that where I'm at right now, where I'm taking this apart preliminarily. Definitely plywood body. Messy route inside there. Plenty of room to get the hole through the tremolo cavity. For single coil guitar, this could definitely use some shielding. They do have some of this shielding on the back of the actual single coils, though, which is more than a lot of other things, I can say. And a little bit to ground everything on the front of the plate, so it's not without any shielding. So, anyway, we have it apart right now to soak some of the stuff. The screws on the bridge are so caked with rust that I'm giving them a vinegar soak to try to remove the rust out of them to make them workable, to oil up and get the action working easily again. So I had to take one apart. So this is one of the single coils from the Epiphone. It does not have the block bar as you're used to seeing it, but it does appear to have a magnet. But it's kind of countersunk and wax sealed into place, maybe? It does look like a single bar and sealed and waxed in. I mean, these pickups have the shielding on the back. They actually look overall really nice. I'm looking forward to hearing them. I just realized something I really like about this design with this extra piece of metal shield underneath. Not only is it shield, but it provides the support underneath the screw here so that you don't ever have the pickup bobbin itself strip. Or in this case, if that metal wasn't here, that bobbin's so thin that the screw would be pulling that pickup into place, that bobbin broke, and that would be a problem. But since there's metal behind it, it's holding it all in place, which is pretty cool. And again, it acts as shielding. So I like these pickups so far. Design-wise, we need to get some shielding inside here. Clean that up, but I is also pre-routed for a humbucker. It's not quite the swimming pool route, but that could take 9 P90s or humbuckers, so that's pretty cool. Recapping our Gibson S310 acquisition. Cleaned up now, fresh set of strings. Frets cleaned up. Took apart, checked out the pickups. Pickups seem to be very unique and cool. All the electronics seem to be checking out okay. Good polish. Took all those old stickers off of it. Had a Megadeth sticker on there, an Alien sticker. Cleaned and oiled the bridge up. All these were seized up. I couldn't move any of the Allen keys. I get the rust majority off of them. The majority of the rust is off of them. And they're all working. They're all oiled up. Time to play for a little bit. Frets are dressed. Nut is lubed with some graphite. A lot of adjustments on the back here. Had to go in and get the retainer clip for the tremolo bar. Had to get adjusted for more spring tension. The neck has been waxed. Tuning machines have all been roughly clean, not polished up 100%. Neck's in good shape. Little actual wear on the neck right here. Which must just be from moving around because there wasn't much other wear on this thing. That's hard to read for me. Crafted in Korea, Epiphone. Quality since 1910 maybe? The Epiphone Company, Nashville, Tennessee, USA, Ohio. These tuners, I don't know about them. Like I said, we'll have to play it. Once I play it for a little bit, then I'm going to understand what it needs, what it doesn't. It does have double adjustment possibilities on the bridge here. The bridge has the 2-point tremolo there that can be adjusted, and then it also has individual saddles. So these saddles might be in bad enough shape that I might have to graph tech them, but they're functioning right now. And it seems to be intonating and everything, so we'll see how it goes.